it do? It's your boy Nextstop Sirchcity. Welcome back to another episode of the Food We Watch Pod. Uh, as you can see, I'm here alone. Neda has the episode off, so it's just you and me. Let's get to know each other. How was your day? How's everything been going? Great. Okay, great. So let's get into the episode. Before we get into the main topic, let's go over some current events. Now, I will say this. We all know what's going on between Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole. I really don't have to go too much into it. We know that Kendrick dropped a diss record, which prompted J. Cole to drop a diss record, which now we have Drake, who we think dropped the diss record. Some people were saying it was AI. I don't know. But now we have Rick Ross jumping into the mix. Look, all I can say is, as a fellow hip hop head who's been known to spit a bar or two, this thing is a little messy. I don't know. I was cool with the whole competition of the dish records. I don't know, people were calling it a beef. I didn't necessarily think of it as a beef. I thought it was just two rappers dissing each other in a form of competition. I didn't think it was a beef, but it's gotten messy. You got J. Cole apologizing, which again, I'm not going to get too deep into it. I will say this. I did get a little excited when they were throwing jabs at each other, but now it feels like, who is this really for? Is it for the fans or is it for them? Are they just pumping projects? I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. I think it lost its luster when J. Cole apologized. I'm not judging the man. He had his reasons for apologizing. Um, Other rappers have. I was watching a podcast the other day, and somebody did bring up a fact that Jay-Z has apologized before. Other rappers have apologized before. So, I mean, at this day and age, I'm just glad people are spitting bars. I think that's the one positive we can take from this. But I'm a little over it at this point. Yeah, I'm kind of done with it. All right. That's my 2 cents. But now let's get into the main thing. Let's make the main thing the main thing. As you guys already know, we review cooking shows. What we are reviewing right now is season 3 of Next Level Chef. This is episode 12, I believe. We did lose a member last week, a dear friend to the pod, and if that will be in the future. We had to say goodbye to Vaughn unexpectedly. PA's own, Scranton's own Vaughn was eliminated last week. So this week is a little different. Instead of being on teams are now over. Everyone will be cooking as individuals. Okay, so now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Now it's time for you to show the judges what you can do on your own. Also, they shut down the top floor. This episode, there was no top floor. There was only the middle and the basement. And the winners of this week would then move to the top floor next week. They also introduced the time pendant, the time token, I should say, where you have the opportunity to add 10 seconds to your grab or take away 10 seconds for someone else. Now, I do remember them introducing this last season, and there were a few times it didn't work well for others. People who gave themselves additional time didn't always turn out right. And we already know that the judging will be a little bit harsher on those because you got more time to get things done. So we have the middle floor, which was Gabby, Zach, Christina, and Isaiah. And the basement was made up of Mata, Nicole, and Jordan. All right. So since there are no teams, the judges made their way. Well, I think it was Naisha and Gordon was on the middle floor, and Blaze was on the bottom, but I did see Gordon shift gears. He did go to the bottom at one point. So they're basically going to be, I guess, flip flopping, seeing how everything goes. The topic, the main dish this week was bento boxes. I don't know if you guys are aware. Bento boxes are Japanese style, kind of like lunch. You feel me? It can consist of sushi, tempura, veggies, Japanese style things like that. In their bento box, they had to do at least one sushi roll, okay, one cooked protein, and one tempura item. All right, so I think we're all caught up. I think we understand what's going to go on. Also, Zach did lose his immunity pin, but they were impressed, at least Gordon was, that he didn't have to use it this season. All right, so platform starts to drop. Christina automatically sees the imitation crab, and she's like, I don't want that. She ends up grabbing the ahi tuna, which was a great grab. Now, there was a shocker. Zach grabs the chicken strips. Now, for a mid-level drop, will say personally, I was a little shocked. There were tons of top ingredients that was available, and Zach grabbed the chicken strips. But we're going to see if it worked out for him. I do believe he grabbed them because there is a bento box in Hawaii, and he normally has the one that has chicken in it, so he's going to replicate that. So he has an idea. It's not like he was just grabbing just to grab. He did at least come with an idea. Now, unfortunately, Jordan ends up grabbing the imitation crab. Yo, when he told Blaze, yeah, I got the imitation, Blaze's face was like, ugh, like, what are you going to do? But we all know if you have sushi, the most famous sushi that comes with imitation crab is the California roll. So he gave him the idea to, play around with that. So we'll see if that works out for Zach. For Jordan. Now, I do got something to say about this. My man Mata, Mata grabs the shrimp again. We are not surprised here, folks. We are not surprised here. Mata, what is up with the shrimps? This is, I think this may be the third or fourth time you had shrimp. I need you to come on this show and explain why you keep grabbing the shrimp. I'm pretty sure there's other meats you cook with. We just want to know why the shrimp. Is it your favorite? Is it the easiest thing to cook with? So you're going with, what's your strategy? That's all. I'm not hating. I just want to know what your strategy is. You feel me? Nicole, who was at the bottom, ends up grabbing a black cod, which is a top tier protein. And Blaze was shocked that it made it down to the basement. She was shocked as well. More shockingly, she's never cooked with it. I'm like, great, this is going to turn out kind of crazy, but she never has cooked with cod before. She's never eaten cod before. So that was going to be a little tricky for her. Hopefully that ends up well for her. We will be finding out in a little bit. Now, Gabby, she ends up grabbing the salmon. And she also advised this is her first time making sushi. I think this is the first time for a lot of people. I know me personally, I've never made a sushi roll. I do want to try to make a sushi roll. Let us know in the comments, guys. Have you made sushi rolls at home? Was it hard? Was it difficult? Was it easy? Let us know in the chat. Let us know how yours turned out. And before we continue, make sure you guys like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification, do all the things. We're trying to grow the community. We really appreciate the ones who have been consistently coming back. But we just want to hear from you guys. We don't really get too many comments. We get some views from here and now, here and again, but we want to hear from you. We want some of your ideas and your thoughts about each of these episodes so we can comment about it on the next episode. All right, now Isaiah, my man Isaiah, great grab. He ends up grabbing the lobster. He said he's going to be doing it, I believe, two ways. He's going to be grilling and temporing the lobster. But he was also not too familiar with bento boxes. I think he's had maybe a few in the past, but he hasn't had a lot of experience with Japanese cuisine from what I can remember. Um, Now, here's where it starts to get a little hairy. Christina. One of the main things you need for sushi is rice. Gordon is like, hey, where is your rice? Her eyes, you can look into her eyes and see her heart just sink, just goes in kaput, hits the ground. She forgets to grab rice. She was really focused on that protein to where she forgot to grab her rice. How do you make sushi without the rice? We're going to find out how. She had an idea that, oh, maybe I can use noodles. Gordon was just like, you can't. There's no way you could do it. So she was worried because, like, she's like, look, you miss an ingredient that sends you right into elimination. So she was a little worried. She was a little concerned. She did not know what she was going to do. Now, as I stated, Zach does give a reason for why he chose the chicken, even though Naisha was still kind of, she said it multiple times in this episode. She's like, I just don't get why you would choose chicken. Like, you were on the middle level, you could have chose anything else. Why would you choose chicken? But again, he's doing a mahi inspired bento box, and I believe he said it before that the chicken is one of the main ingredients for the bento boxes in Hawaii. So, hey, as long as the man came with a plan, it is all right with me. Now, guess what? The cooking gods, the Greek gods, all the gods was really looking out for Christina because mid-level platform drop took place. They had to choose any kind of sake, but they also had other things on the platform like beans and um, pickled ginger and rice. Now, I ain't trying to say they was looking out for her on the low ski, but hey, yo, that was just real lucky of her that the rice came. The rice came. Again, the gods was looking out for her on that one because there was no way you was gonna make a sushi roll and you don't have any rice. She was able to grab the rice. Now, this episode was a little different for our dear friend Gabby. Each episode we've seen her, yes, she may be a little nervous from time to time, but she's always banging out those top tier dishes. And this episode, it was the exact opposite. I'm not gonna lie, she took over for Jordan. Jordan, for the most part, was pretty even keeled. He kind of knew what he wanted to do, even though it was also his first time making sushi. But Gabby was all over the place. She had an idea, but her execution was just off. Um, she had things here, things there, and she was just having a hard time putting her dish together cohesively. First time we've seen her under that kind of pressure. Hopefully, as we continue that, she bounces back. Now, like I just said a few moments ago, Gordon makes his way down to the basement and he says he chose shrimp again. My man Mata. He goes and asks, he's like, what's up? Like, why do you keep choosing the shrimp? Mata's like, oh no, they keep choosing me. Nah, son. Come on. I just want to see your diversity. Um, the more we go in this competition, the less competitors we're going to have, and the more of your diversity with these ingredients are going to have to be displayed in order to capture the judge's eye and palate and just keep cooking the same thing over and over again. I don't know how much further it can actually take you. But, you know, to each his own, to each his own. Um, Nicole. Nicole gets the idea from Blaze with her cod, because normally with a cod, you want to marinate it with a glaze and broil it so it has those blackened features. She's worried because she's again never cooked it. Blaze does give her the idea, which to take a grate, put it over the stove on the heat so the fire can cook the fish. She's doing it. She's doing it. The only thing is that she's running out of time. That style of fish is, I believe, fatty, so it takes a little while to render down and to cook all the way through. And she's running out of time. I think she should have started that. That probably should have been one of the first things she started. Um, Now they flip back to Gabby. She continues to struggle. When I mean struggle, it's just everything was just going wrong for her. She starts to roll her sushi, and her sushi roll was this size almost of a burrito. It was just like nothing was going right for her. She's getting nervous. Isaiah, he was trying to fry his tempura and noticed that all the fryers were taken. He starts to unravel. I believe he tried to saute something and started a small fire. Um, and then his initial sushi roll was too skimpy. So Naisha said, "Hey, you need to start over. There's not enough rice in there." So it was a lot of people struggling that we normally see, like that are working on all cylinders. There was a lot of people struggling. Jordan gets to roll his sushi. He did like an inside out sushi roll. And for his first attempt to ever roll a sushi, went great. It turned out well. He loved it. Blaze was like, yo, you did a great job. So Jordan has control this episode. I said this to Neda last week. I feel like if he can just get rid of those nerves and calm down, I really feel like he can start to stand out. And I feel like he did that somewhat, even having imitation crab, he did that somewhat this week. Now, here's where I'm on the same page with Mata. Mata, I think he's like 6'7", 6'8", has huge hands. I don't know if you can see this. I'm 6'7", 6'8". I have very large hands. So he was having issues rolling sushi, and I feel like I would have had the same issue. I have the same issue when I try to do egg rolls, trying to get a roll. My hands are huge. like but right there, right then and there, Mata, I was team Mata. I felt you. I know exactly what that feels like. Trying to have these huge hands and try to roll something small is just beyond me. Um, Now, back to Gabby. Gabby, we know she rolled her sushi semi extra large, and then she tried to top it with like thinly cut salmon, and she torches it, but she starts to notice that her salmon started to disintegrate. So it started to fall apart. It didn't look right. She was nervous as hell. Um, she really didn't, but at that point in time, we were coming down to the few and final minutes. She really didn't know what to do. So it is what it is at that point. But I do want to say, after all was said and done, everyone for another week made their way to the platform. Again, this may be the first. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it. But I think this may be the first season where everyone makes the platform. So I just do want to shout out you guys. That's one thing I will say. You guys are getting it done. Isaiah at the end of all of it gets emotional because he's like, look, there's a lot of pro chefs, celebrity chefs, things people to go home to if they don't make it. And he's like, look, I ain't got nothing. This is it. I put all my eggs in a basket. This is all or nothing. And I felt that, like, for real, for real. Like, I know what it is when you're trying to chase your dream. As you can see here, I'm sitting here in front of you guys. I have a full-time job. This is not my full-time job yet. I am in the same boat. I am trying to chase my dreams and be successful in the food industry just as well as Isaiah is. So that touched home a little bit. But all in all, I'm just glad that everyone made it to the platform. Now, let's get to what everybody made. Okay. We started with the middle. We got Christina. She made the ahi tuna two ways. One is in a roll and one seared with a sesame crust. The judges thought the dish was beautiful. The tuna turned out perfect. It really felt like a full meal. Good job, Christina. All right, then we have Gabby with the salmon bento box, deep fried tempura, shiso leaf, and tempura shiso leaf, and the tempura mushrooms. Yeah, they weren't really feeling this John right here. They said it was lackluster, clunky, and it was almost like a sushi burrito. So like a mixture of sushi and a burrito. Borderline Blaze was like, I don't even know if you can call that a sushi roll. So ooh. Next we have Zach. Now Zach's did this is the longest. I hope I got everything. This was the longest name. All right, so it was a chicken satay, tempura veggies, chicken sushi roll, tankatsu preparation, and a sesame dipping sauce with tempura lotus roots. Zach, let me know if I got everything. If am I missing something? There's a lot going on, but the flavor was good. I think Blaze loved the yakitori. Overall, though, some of the chicken was overcooked on the tonkatsu, but they did like the dipping sauce. So overall, he did have a pretty good dish. The chicken sushi and everything did turn out well. I. Now we got Isaiah. He did the lobster with charred bok choy. He did a lobster roll and he did the tempura. Unfortunately, unfortunately, his tempura was soggy, lobster chewy, had an empty compartment. So he didn't get everything that he wanted on the dish. Blaze kind of played and he's like, oh well, you can use this empty container to put the food that you don't want. Sorry, my man's. Next, we have Jordan. He did the imitation crab bento. He did a California crab salad inside out roll, and he skewered some of the imitation crab. The dish was beautiful. They loved the way for his first time creating that inside out roll, which is a difficult thing to do. They loved the sushi roll, but the crab sticks were horrendous. Okay. All right. You can't win them all. You gotta look. 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Next, we have Nicole. She did the broiled black cod in sake and a cucumber roll. They said that the cod was missing a glaze, it was undercharred, and it was not enough rice. Didn't really come out and turn cohesiveness and all that jazz. Last but not least, we have Mata. Now, I did get on him a little bit about the prawns, but he did the red prawn hibachi style, a veggie roll, and tempura medley of vegetables with a sweet and spicy sauce. They said it looked good. It had great flavor. The tempura was the highlight of the dish. So, hey, he know what he doing with the shrimps is. You know what he doing. It's just like, do you got to keep cooking with the shrimps is. But overall, this is why I can't hate on my mans. The two winners that will be cooking next week on the top shelf, top level, is Christina and Mata. Not only will he be cooking on the top level along with Christina, he won the time token. So he overall had the best dish of the week. Hey man, I know, like I said, I just want to see you cook something different, but I ain't hating on your skills. Unfortunately, that leaves Jordan and Zach. They will be cooking on the middle level. And the ones that are going into elimination this week was Isaiah and Gabby and Nicole. Yes. First time this season, three people went into elimination. They did not see that coming. Oh boy. But elimination was, since they started off with lunch, now they're going to finish off with dinner. They had to create a Japanese inspired steak dish using one of the most expensive steaks in the game, Wagyu. Me and Neda have talked about. I still haven't had Wagyu. I'm, me and Neda got to talk. We gotta go out. We gotta go to a Wagyu spot. We can have a Japanese spot or Korean spot, so we can have some of that Wagyu beef. I haven't had it, but I want to try it. All right. Starting off the elimination, Gabby is coming in strong. She knew which vegetables and things she wanted to use. Um, Nicole grabs a specific mushroom she wanted to use. And then Gabby, actually holding the steak, realizes how fat the Wagyu steak actually is. She starts to get a little nervous. Isaiah explains the dish that he wants to do with Gordon. Gordon loves the idea. Nicole is making some kind of veggie mix for her steak. She's going to use the yakitori grill. I've seen these one time. I do want to get one. If you've had one, let us know in the chat how good it works. But she was a little excited to use that yakitori grill. Gordon, talking to Gabby, was highly surprised that she made her way into the elimination round. But hey, yo, sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. Like, that's just it. But hopefully she can impress the judges enough to stay another week. Something did happen with Gabby. She's cooking, she's searing her steak, and then a bunch of grease splashes all over her hand. She did show her hand at one point, but she kept it going. She kept it G. I ain't gonna lie. She kept it G. She's like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Just kept it moving. So she was determined to get that dub today. Unfortunately, though, Gordon with the magical finger, pause, was like, yeah, your steak's it's rare. It's real rare. He's like, touch this, touch it. Her steak was rare. She was a little nervous as far as the temperature. Should she keep cooking it? She wanted it rare, but he's like, yo, you don't want it too rare to where it doesn't look cooked. So you may want to figure that out. Nicole wanted to tempura her veggies, which is when you deep fry the veggies in a batter. Yeah, that ain't work out right. The It started falling apart. It wasn't frying, so she had to end up pivoting away from the veggie medley she was trying to create. Um, yeah, I'm thinking that was it. So all in all, they put together some real unique dishes. It was just that Nicole had to pivot at the last minute. Unfortunately, it was going to be a little shaky because she didn't have anything to offset uh the fattiness of her steak, as well as the fried aspect of her veggies. Let's see how that turned out. So, Isaiah, he did the Wagyu with Japanese mushrooms and potatoes. Wagyu was cooked to perfection. It just needed something. It was just missing something to break up that fatty element of the steak. With the Here we go. Nicole did the Wagyu over veggies with a soy mayonnaise. The richness of the beef and the fried veggies just didn't match. So they did say that. And then Gabby did a cast iron seared Wagyu with Japanese inspired veggies. Her dish was beautiful. It tasted beautiful. The caramelization of the steak was beautiful, and they loved the radishes. It was overall a cohesive dish. But there can only be one sent home. There were three competing for their lives, and one sadly had to say goodbye, and that would be Nicole. So now we are down to 6 contestants left. Nicole was eliminated this week. Thank you for being on the show. You did have some highlightable moments where you that tongue that you cooked. I will never forget that you won a competition or won a round with the what was it, cow tongue? I can't remember, goat tongue. I can't remember what kind of tongue it was, but you did your thing. You should be proud that you made it this far into the competition. And hopefully, just like everyone else, we will get you on the pod. But again, as I stated, we are down to six. Yes, six people left in the competition. We're slowly coming down to, and I'm pretty sure we're coming to a double elimination sooner rather than later. But we're coming down to the wire. Season is almost over. I had Vaughn winning it all. Now I don't because he's no longer there. Um, so in my opinion, there comes down to probably I'm gonna run with these three. I think will I have the top three of who can win. Okay. Christina, Isaiah, and our dear friend Zach. I think they are the top three right now to that are taking that leap to win it all. I could be wrong. I was wrong before, but guess what? The only way to find out is if we keep tuning in and watching Next Level Chef. But again, we're at an end. Just like always, it was fun while it lasted. But again, please do not forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Also, just to let you know, we are doing dinners. Normals be chefing. We are doing platters. April 27th. That is a Saturday. The link for the order form is in the description, in the bio of the Normals Be Chefing page on Instagram. And it's on all the posts that I've been posting for the last few days. So if you make your way over to at Normals Be Chefing, you will go see the link tree, and the order form for the platters are in the bio in the link tree. The platters at this moment you should see on the side here. There are platters. There's going to be some wing. They're wing platters, 10 wings. You get the pineapple buffalo, or you have your choice of the sweet chili chipotle, or you have your choice of the garlic. And if you can't do the sides, I mean the sauces and all that jazz, we will have just regular fried wings. But we have that going on. Again, orders will close as of April 21st. So next Saturday. If you do not place your order, meaning if I do not have your order by the 22nd, please do not be hitting me up on the 27th saying, hey, yo, like, no, we're not doing that. Like, we it's a small group of us. And the way we're doing this is we're taking pre-orders so we know how much we got to cook. Food is not cheap. It is very expensive. So all we ask from you is to just submit your order on the form. If you had any additional things, you can DM us, or if you have any questions, you can DM us. If you know me personally, you can text me, but please use the form. And you must be in the Philadelphia, Delaware County, or Delaware, Claymont, Wilmington area. All right. So we only doing this in a select location. Hopefully we get more success at doing this where we can actually travel around and do pop-up cook-up shops. So it's up to you guys. But thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Food We Watch podcast. Again, follow us over at Normals Be Chefing, or you can hit me up on my personal page at Sirchcity. And even though she wasn't here, if you wanted to follow Shanita, said her whole name. She don't be liking that. If you want to follow Neda, go to at Neda Food Photos on all platforms. Okay. And if you don't have time to watch these full episodes, you can go to at the Food We Watch Pod on TikTok and IG and watch some of the reels, some of the highlights. Let a person know. Again, it's been real. It's been your boy Nextstop Sirchcity. But before we go, I gotta let you know that good things come and good things go. Life is like a box of chocolate. It's about to get hot, and that shit be melting.